Hola, ¿se oye esto aquí? Hola, ¿se oye esto aquí? Vamos a ver si jugamos aquí. Un torneito por aquí a ver, aquí mira, 15 segundos. Vamos a unirnos a este torneo, vamos a ir jugando aquí a 15 segundos para calentar. Vamos a ver.
Knight f6, e3. Captures e5, knight d5, c4, a3, knight a6.
Queen
Takes f3. Well, I want to capture on e4. Knight d5. Knight c5, b5, knight e4, and castle. Knight f5, d6.
Castles?
e4. I'm thinking that this pawn on e5 is the base, the foundation. G6, king g7 on the board, and g4, h5, king f6, h4.
Yeah, man. Buena partida. Vamos allá.
d5, knight c3, knight c6, bishop d6, and d3. Well, I want to capture on e4. You don't want to play a move like knight d4, castle long. Queen e7, the bishop dropped back to d2, and I want to capture on f3, f4, and yeah, f takes e5, captures e5, bringing the knight to g4. Bishop takes g4, check.
Checkmate, man. Vamos a calentar para empezar el torneo. Voy a comer aquí.
Like
Todo.
knight f6,
Rook c8.
bishop to b4, queen f3, bishop d6, knight e4, and c5, check.
Estamos calentando aquí.
King f8, castles, and I want to capture on f3. The bishop on e4 is not really protected. Queen g6, g4, and I want to capture on f3. And we got to this position, king g7, f4, took the pawn on f5, and he's keeping it. So king f8.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, let's go. Se oye muy bien.
Now, last time I played c6,
Se escucha muy bien.
myself into trouble. Bishop g5, h4, bishop g4. Of course, you just simply want to play bishop to e3. a3 is not right. Queen a5, check, check. Knight takes d5. Knight h5, f4. Suppose I did something like knight f6, f5. Well, then king g7, h5, king g2, king f1, king f6, rook on h1, rook h3.
Buen play, man. Se escucha bien. Este se fue. Vamos a ver. Se ve bien y se escucha bien, ¿no? Hay un torneo que empieza ahora en 40 minutos. Vamos a seguir jugando aquí. Vamos allá.
Now, last time I played c6 and I got myself into trouble. Bishop e7 on the board, castle long. Bishop g4, h3,
Oh.
and I want to capture on f3. Okay, let me take the pawn on g5. Queen f6, very decent move.
White's best move, according to the chess theoreticians, is the move h4.
But we do have on the board queen f4. So now he can take on. Suppose I did something like knight f6.
No, man, checkmate en una. No le di mate aquí, compadre. Era mate en una aquí. A ver. Vamos a probar, este se fue.
Just been blitzing out their moves like no problem.
Se escucha perfecto todo esto. Vamos aquí. Un torneito. Queremos jugar este torneito, pero empieza en 40 minutos. Ahora. Vamos allá.
G6, E3, E4 looks good. I want to go e5 ASAP, of course. Knight b3, knight c6, bishop g5. Knight takes c6, rook e1. You found it. Bishop to e6. Okay, bishop c8. e3. C takes d5 this time. Bishop e6. I can take on e6.
Oh, súper rápido, man.
Check.
Vamos allá.
h5.
White's best move, according
Vamos.
to the chess theoreticians, is the move h4.
Took the pawn on f5, and he's keeping it. Of course, you just simply want to play bishop to e3.
I want to capture on e4.
So No. king f8, queen f6.
I was
Very
thinking that my
decent
rook
move.
wasn't
Bishop takes
stable
e6.
on
F takes e6.
g4.
And e7. Check. Check. Queen f7. You know.
Thank you, man. Se va completo. Vamos allá. Este empieza en 9 minutos. Vamos aquí. Vamos.
c6. Rook e1. You found it. Knight g5 and bishop e7. Knight g4 to try to trade and make a draw. Queen to e2.
Knight c3.
You don't have knight g5 yet. Again, this
Esto.
went to f6. Check. I was about to say, I like the knight on f4 very much. Bishop e3, queen b5, rook e1, you found it.
Oh, me he demorado un poco, bien. Vamos allá. Faster, column.
c6, c4, bishop b2.
Castle.
What about d4? Bishop to b4, queen c2, knight e4, queen c2, b6, yeah, right. c5, and I want to capture on f3, a6. He came up with this move, rook d1, bishop d6. So let me put the queen on e7.
White's best move, according to the chess theoreticians, is the move h4.
King h7. Now, last time I played c6 and I got myself into trouble.
Esto. ¿Qué tenemos?
d5, c4, c6, b6, and after h3, again, this knight went to f6, e5. So a3's on the board, right? For some reason, I thought this knight was coming to
Oh.
b6. So then it has to be knight e5 then. Rook d8, knight d7 captures e5, followed by knight takes e5. He did go queen f6. Now, check. ec3, and we've seen king g7.
Que ver estos jugadores. Tener cuidado.
Now, last time I played c6 and I got myself into trouble. Do we have one d4 on the board? f4, cd4, knight c6, and king goes to f1. Bishop e3, queen c2,
Rook c8, bishop d3,
castle. Knight on f3, the rook c2, and bishop to b4. Rook takes b5. Now he can take on f4, king e2, rook to c6, right.
b4,
Rook b6, g4, and guess what?
Vamos a ver qué pasa con este jugador. Vamos a ver que lo revisen rápido aquí. A ver qué pasa. A ver, tenemos por aquí a quién. Welcome, man. Vladimir. Hello, man.
We're in new territory now. Now, last time I played c6 and I got myself into trouble. d6, c4, bishop d3. Capture on c4. Even just knight b5. He has played f6. Bishop d2, e5. Captures e5. F takes e5. Bishop g5. Okay, let me take the pawn on g5. Bishop takes d8. Oops. Right. And knight g6, check. Rook e7, queen to e8, check.
Thank you. Let's go.
c6, g3, castle, bishop to d7. Bishop d6,
Castles?
e4. Well, I want to capture on e4. Knight c5. Bishop e3, right. Bishop takes e3. Bishop to e6, e4, e5. Well, black is up. An exchange. g6. Yeah. Rook to e2. Rook e1. You found it.
And now I played king e2.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Let's go.
c6, e4, d5. Now this very quick approach of bishop e7, and is this an issue if black plays h4? He did go queen f6.
Bishop h6.
Oh my. The bishop on e4 is not really protected.
Let's go, man. Your time.
7.
Oh, maybe it's even bishop
Thank you.
g5. So king f8. And again, just to remind everybody who may...
Thank you, man. Vamos a ver aquí. Torneito por aquí. 3 minutos. No rating, Vladimir. Thank you. Good luck, man.
c6, knight d7, something like this. Followed by knight takes e5, castle short, check.
Check.
The bishop on e3. After this move, knight c3. Okay, so let's say I go knight on f3, bishop d6, c3, rook david 3.
Wow. No, se me corrió la pantalla, man.
Now, last time I played c6 and I got myself into trouble. c4 takes d5, castle, knight c6. So then it has to be knight e5 then. f3, queen f3. So let me put the queen on e7, f5, queen f3, queen f7. Check. And capture on g7. And I'm forced to move my king. And capture on g7. And chase the king. Check.
Wow, man. Super fast. Let's go.
And I want to capture on f3, d3, d6, c3, bishop e7. Knight takes d5, f4, bishop c5 with a check. Rook to e8. Well, I want to capture on e4. King g2 was played, g5, f5, g4. And I want to capture on f3, correct. h3, king to g3. The rook c2, check.
Well played, man.
Now, last time I played c6 and I got myself into trouble.
Bishop d3.
And knight g5. And
Checkmate,
chase
man.
the king. Okay, let me take the pawn on g5. Okay, let me take the pawn.
Checkmate, man.
Suppose I did something like knight f6. Well, here I would probably begin with h3. Knight c6, bishop g5. So king f8, knight c3. Even took the pawn on f5, and he's keeping it. And
Wow.
check. f6. A move we kind of expected.
King e2, so I go king d2.
C3, knight e5. Sorry, rook to e6, and here we have it.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Now, last time I played c6 and I got myself into trouble.
Well, I want to capture on e4.
Bishop e7. I'm thinking that this pawn on e5 is the base, the foundation. G7, bishop e7. Check. Took the pawn on f5, and he's keeping it. And he's keeping it.
Knight takes c6.
Bishop takes c6, captures e5 to d6. It was sort of like
Rook b8 and
Thank you, man. Vamos a entrar al torneo este. Vamos allá.
c6, knight f6, d4, then knight e5, f takes e6, f4, e6, g6, queen f3. So let me put the queen on e7, captures e5, yeah, bishop c3,
and I want to capture on f3.
oh yes, bishop d7, check, oops, rook e1, you found it, bishop takes e6, and now after queen g7, bishop e6, queen b6, rook on f3.
Wow, man. Wow, man. Perdí esa partida ahí. Vamos allá.
Knight c6, e3, captures e5. Yeah, f takes e5. Deadly check. So bishop d2. Suppose I did something like knight f6. Bishop b5 is the most natural. Bishop takes b5. Right. d3. Rook to e8. Knight jumping to d5. And he came up with this move, rook d1.
So I go king d2.
And rook d1. Rook takes d1. Does this
Thank you, man. Let's go.
c6, take on d5,
Castle.
knight e5, so knight c6, and knight g6, the bishop dropped back to d2, bishop e3, check, knight takes d4, g3, bishop g4, king g2 was played, h3, check,
Checkmate, man. Checkmate. Vamos allá.
c5, knight c6, so knight f3. Does this make any sense to toss in this move, bishop b4, c4 takes d5, something like this, knight takes c6, a5, rook takes e6, bishop d7, queen b6, rook c1, bishop b5 is the right move, d5.
Wow, man. Thank you.
Suppose I did something like knight f6.
And I want to capture on f3.
Take on d5, c3, knight e7, knight f6. No. Rook to e8.
Well, I want to capture on e4.
Rook e1, you found it. Rook to e4. Rook c1, c3. When rook to c8, rook takes c4.
He goes king c5. King c4.
Queen e7, a6. Take on a2.
Yeah, man. Estamos en la posición número 2. Vamos allá. Position 2, man.
d5, e3. Bishop g4. e6, bishop d3.
Wow.
Bishop d6, castle. c6, knight e4.
Well, I want to capture on e4.
Okay. Queen d7. Knight e3. And let's just go with h6 for a second. Rook takes c3, queen e7, rook to e8. So this is after king h7, rook takes g7.
Checkmate, man.
Exactly.
Checkmate.
Now, last time I played c6 and I got myself into trouble. f4, bishop d6, castle, knight e4. And where does it, f5, rook to e8, g6. Oh my. And I was just kind of drumming the table for the simple move rook on f1, bishop e5.
Ooh.
Wow, super fast, man. Qué rápido.
c6, knight d7, bishop d6, cd4, rook to e8, knight e4,
Well, I want to capture on e4.
queen c2, g4, bishop e6, f4.
And I want to capture on f3.
Yeah, nice. I think this move, rook h2, really came as a big shock. Bishop c4, well, okay. Rook to d2, king e1. Okay, so simply king f3, h5, queen f3, check, king g1.
Yeah, man. Checkmate, ¿a dónde va? Checkmate, man. ¿A dónde va? Es jaque mate. Se quería escapar. Bueno, estamos en la posición número 3. A ver si llegamos a la posición número 1.
d6, e3, e5,
Super fast,
e4,
man.
e4. Now, last time I played c6,
Vamos, let's go, man. Your time.
e4, played a5, castle short. Knight e4, bishop takes c6, knight g3, d5, bishop d7, take on d5, bishop d6, e4, knight c7, e5, knight takes d5, captures e5, bishop g5, check.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Ahora sí. Lo cogimos con el mareadito para adelante y para atrás. Vamos allá.
After h5, h3,
White's best move, according to the chess theoreticians, is the move h4.
queen to e2, bishop g5.
Esto me regaló la dama, man.
e7, castle, knight captures e5, takes e5, queen c6, bishop d6, check, bishop d3, b6, f4, bishop takes b4, bishop takes c7, and he's just posted his rook up in the center of the board with the move rook d5, b3, sweet, played a5, a3 is not, how about rook a4?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Lo cogimos. Y ganamos esta. Position 3. Vamos allá. Vamos allá. Let's go.
c5, queen
Oh,
takes d4,
la dama.
and knight
Checkmate,
takes
man.
d4, knight f3. Yeah, it's an improved version. This knight on c2, d6, knight d3, king to e1, f3, castles, g3, capture on c4, ec3,
Queen a5.
check, king g2, queen f3. Very nice, check.
Yeah, man. Checkmate. Ahora estamos en la posición número 3. Quedan 18 minutos. Vamos allá.
And chess, of course, has been in the prison systems
Súper rápido,
for so
man.
many years, and I think of Nelson Mandela when he was in prison. He loved playing chess because he was looking to kill time, and he found that chess did that, and he had what he called good sitzfleisch. He would try to outweight his opponent.
Checkmate, man. Let's go. Vamos allá.
h5, d4,
h4.
e4, f6, take on d5, e6, knight d7, knight e5, bishop to d7, c4. Suppose I did something like knight f6, c3, a3. I'm thinking that this pawn on e5 is the base, the foundation. cd4, bishop c5, captures e5. Very irritating checks. Oh my gosh.
Played knight f3.
No, men.
e8.
No, si lo teníamos ahí ya, men. Se me escapó. Se me escapó. Position 2.
Now, last time I played
Hostia, si
c6
juega
and I got myself into trouble. Bishop takes d7, c5, d3, bishop c5, check, sweet. Queen to e2, by the way.
Well, I want to capture on e4.
Knight c3, rook to c8, bishop to e4.
And I want to capture on f3.
The bishop on e4 is not really protected. And is this an issue if black...
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. 43 puntos tiene el primer lugar. Vamos allá.
Maybe c5, d5, bishop d7, rook e1, you found it. Knight takes c6, c5, ec3. This bishop on d4, I personally find it annoying. Queen to e2, by the way. d4, knight d5. Took the pawn on f5.
What happened?
Keeping it. King g3. He just played rook on d1. King to e5. How about rook a4? King David 7. Rook c4.
Wow, man. Super fast.
e6, e3. So should I place c4 or not? e4.
Well, I want to capture on e4.
1 e4 and let's go. Bishop d6, bishop e6, and then knight to d4. Bishop on b3, knight e5, knight c5. Bishop c4, well, okay. Bishop to d4, bishop d3, f4, f5.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Position 2. Número 1.
e6, e3, c4. Take on d5, bishop g4, rook d1, rook to e8, b3.
Well, I want to capture on e4.
d5, c4 takes d5, and then I was going to go rook takes d1, and I was just kind of drumming the table for the simple move rook on f1, queen g6, f5, king f4, king to f5, king gets pushed to
King
g6.
c4.
Just wondering-
Wow, man. Super fast. No. Un segundo, man.
Now, last time I played c6 and I got myself into trouble. e3, bishop e7,
Bishop d3.
so I'll try queen e2, bishop f6, sure, castle, c5.
Well, I want to capture on e4.
Wait a minute, g6 and h4. I'm thinking that this pawn on e5 is the base, the foundation. I had to play.
No, man. What happened?
e5. The knight takes e5. Knight c6. Knight takes c6. Bishop d2. Bishop e6.
Well, I want to capture on e4.
Knight d5.
Bishop takes c3.
Wow.
You can't play rook b8. Oh, well, maybe you can.
Rook takes d1. Queen David 8. And oops.
And chase the king.
The bishop on e4 is not really protected.
And chase the king.
Thank you. Position 2, man. Let's go.
Again, this knight went to f6, bishop d3, and then came d5, bishop d3. And I want to capture on f3, knight c6, e3. What about d4? Knight c6. And I want to capture on f3, bishop e7, bishop g5. Okay, let me take the pawn on g5.
E to E4. Bobby Fischer's comment was best by test.
d7, king to the d6 square. Oh boy.
Wow, man, se me quedó el mouse. Increíble. Vamos.
d5, castle, c5, d4 landed on the board. And after h3, and I want to capture on f3, so knight c6. Of course, you just simply want to play bishop to e3. Knight f4. The bishop on e4 is not really protected. And I want to capture on f3, king g2. Knight e3, check. Rook takes c3, bishop takes e3, king e2, and check, king g2.
Wow, man, lag. Vamos allá.
h5, e3.
White's best move, according to the chess theoreticians, is the move H4.
h3. Rook on h1. Queen d7.
No, me regaló la dama, man.
Rotating checks. King e2. Bishop c5. Check. King to e1. Check. Take on a2. Queen c2. Take on d5. Bishop f4.
Wow, man. Vamos allá. 10-10 estamos.
c5, c3, c4. Again, this knight went to f6. Knight e4, knight e5, f5, bishop f6. Well, I want to capture on e4. Whoa, bishop a6.
You can't play rook b8. Oh, well, maybe you can.
d5. Queen takes d5, which is okay. Bishop to d4, capture on c4. Bishop f6 captures e5. Queen takes e5.
Wow, man. What happened con el lag? Oh, yeah.
c5, cd4. Well, I want to capture on e4. Maybe knight e5? e5, queen d3. I was just going to say that this was the old line, bishop e6. Uh-oh. Queen d5, knight c4, e3. Bishop takes e3. Queen f7.
Castles?
Knight e5, check. Got knight e7, check. Even just knight d5.
Wow, man. Increíblemente.
c6, c4, b6. C takes d5 this time. Bishop b4, castle short. Rook e1, you found it. Well, I want to capture on e4. Knight takes c6, f5, knight e6. Bishop takes e6, bishop f4. Rook to e8, rook d7. And bishop takes c7. I mean, queen c6. Okay. And capture on g7.
I'll go king c3.
And now
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Vamos allá, que esto ahorita.
d5, e5, let's go. Castle short. Got knight e7. Bishop takes d7. Rook to e8. What did we do last time? I think we went knight d4. Bishop e6. Knight takes e6, guys. Well, I'll get e6. Well, do we like knight d4? Take on d5. Rook takes d5. Check. cd4. King h6. And after h3, g5. And we've seen king g7 takes e6, g3, f4, and
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
a5. So a3's on the board, right? e5 captures e5, knight d4. Bishop g5. Take on d5. Rook d8. So king f8. Very good. e4. Well, I want to capture on e4. Rook b1. Put my rook on d6. h4. The rook c2.
b4,
f4. Played b5 right here.
rook c8,
Check. Rook takes d5. Rook to e2.
Wow, man. Wow, man.
d5. g3. Suppose I did something like knight f6. Well, I want to capture on e4. Check. d5. c4. Bishop e3. King g2 was played. Knight e5. Rook to e8. Knight c3. Capture on c4. Bishop f8. Queen f3. h6. King h7. Queen f3. Correct.
No. Regalado todo.
d6. c4. Captures e5. Check. Knight takes e5. e3. Yes. Bishop d2. Knight c5. Castle long. Right.
bishop d3, bishop takes c3,
Right. Bishop c2. Suppose I did something like knight f6. All right. Right. g6 with the idea. Check. bc3. King g7. Wow. Rook on e2. Very.
Thank you, man. Un poco de ellos. Hola. Hola, maestro. Dice, ¿dónde consigo el Kane de Chef Base 17? Ahora lo tengo que poner ahora, que no lo he puesto.
Played knight f3.
Ahora te lo pongo ahora.
We're here, guys. Knight f5. Bishop g5. f6. A move we kind of expected. Knight e5. Queen f6. Very.
¿Quieren ganarme por time?
d4. So I'll try queen e2. Queen takes f3. Rook to d2. Bishop h5.
bishop,
No, quería ganarme por time. Tengo que poner lo que no lo he puesto.
c6. e6.
castles,
Okay, bishop c8. Rook e1, you found it in d5. Something like this. Check, yeah. Bishop e7. Queen d5. Well, I want to capture on e4. Bishop c5. Rook e7. Check. f5. The bishop on e4 is not really protected. I can take on e6. Well, I'll
Super fast, man. Vamos allá.
e6, d4, e4. Well, I want to capture on e4. Well, knight g5 and cd4. f5, knight f4. I'm thinking that this pawn on e5 is the base, the foundation. g3, he did go queen f6. Castles, played a5. Queen takes d4. Wait a minute, g6 and king h6.
Oh, se me cayó el time, man. Ya estoy terminando, me quedan 3 minutos.
Now, last time I played c6 and I got myself into trouble. e6,
Okay.
e5, and after
Tengo que jugar muy rápido aquí.
castles,
Esto me lo como.
e5, bc3, play knight takes e5, bishop g7, queen e2. So after bishop c4, bishop c3 has been played. You did go queen f6, rook e1, you found it. Queen f6, queen f6, very decent move. f5, f6, check. King h6, f4, check. He's played king g6. Well, then king g7, king f4.
Yeah, man. Se la ganamos. Se la ganamos. Regalé hasta la dama, la regalé.
Suppose I did something like knight f6.
bishop takes c3,
g6, knight d7, queen h6. Suppose I did something like knight f6.
Checkmate, man. Checkmate. Qué bonito. Ya, estamos terminando ya. Un poco de ello, ¿te suscribiste al canal?
c6, e4, f3. Suppose I did something like knight f6.
So.
Knight c6. Knight c6. Wow. The check. The knight takes d4. Okay. Check. King f1. Bishop to d4. Bishop d3. Rook to e2. You don't want to play a move like knight d4.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Vamos allá, vamos allá. Se quitan hasta el tiempo.
e3, bishop e7. Do we have one?
Quieren ganarme con 15 segundos, man.
Bishop b4, ec3, e5. Bishop takes d8. Rook takes d8. King d2. Knight f6, d5. This is rook d8, rook d8, b3, f6. A move we kind of expected. Rook to e6.
Yeah. No sé, ¿para qué se quitan el tiempo? Yo pregunto, ¿para qué se quitan el time?
And then came d5. Knight d7. Bishop back to g3.
¿Para qué se
And
quitan
I
el
wanna
time,
capture
man?
on f3, c3, c5. King g2. cd4. Suppose I did something like knight f6. f3. Queen takes d5, which is okay. That king makes a terrible impression on it. I was just kind of running the table
f3
with a simple move, rook on f1.
King c4.
And he's just posting
No,
rook
man.
up in the
Por un segundo, men. Por un segundo, men. Por un segundo.
c6, bishop d3,
Mira esto.
e6. Does this make any sense to toss in this move, bishop b4, bishop d6, knight on f3, bishop takes d7, castle long, bishop b4,
Bishop takes c3.
check, c5, rook d3, it's true, check, cd4, rook d8, c3, g6, oh my.
Rook king d.
Yeah. Bueno, quedamos en la posición número 7. Posición número 7, man. Primer lugar, este que está aquí. Turquía. Siempre coge primer lugar. Miren esto. Este jugador siempre coge primer lugar. Mira esto. Primer lugar, primer lugar, primer lugar. Esto es una máquina, ¿no? Siempre coge primer lugar. Esto debe ser un bot. Vamos a retarlo a ver si quiere jugar. Vamos a retarlo a 15 segundos. A ver. A ver si quiere echar una partida. Siempre coge primer lugar. Vamos a jugar aquí ahora.
G6, d4, bishop g7. So should I place c4 or not? I'm thinking that this pawn on e5 is the base, the foundation. g5,
Vamos a jugar aquí.
e4, a5, h3, h5. This is beginning to get more and more.
Muy bien.
Hello, d6,
Hola.
knight g6. Oh, knight d5. I'm not used to such tactics. In g4.
Vas a comer aquí. Voy a comer aquí.
There is a big threat. Give me your queen. Because the
Okay,
idea
hack
is
aquí.
that after, let's say, got knight e7.
Para quitarle el alfilito ese.
We had more trades. Rook to e8.
Voy a defender eso.
Move knight f2. That's precise. Whoa. Indeed, that's exactly what we have gotten.
Voy a comer aquí.
E6. Queen d6. Bishop to f7. Rook a6 did not seem, to my eyes, like the most natural. Oops. Why did he play queen d7?
Estoy comiendo la torre.
Rook to e6, and here we have it. Bishop c4.
Jaque, jaque.
Natural move indeed.
No, se me fue el mouse.
Deadly check. Check. Sure. So rook d7 has been played. That's with a check. Bishop f8. Conspiracy.
Se me fue el mouse, man.
And again, all I'm trying to say. F3.
This position is very unfavorable for black.
And I want to capture on f3.
Queen g3.
Check. King f1. Yes. I'm going to play 4 pawn stone. And I want to capture on f3. Rook d7. Check.
No, se me fue el mouse. ¿Qué clase de partida he regalado hoy?
d5. Knight c6. e3. Again, this knight went to f6. e6. Castles. Bishop d6. d3. Queen e7. a6. Bishop takes c6. Bishop
So
takes
whatever.
c6. Then knight e5. Castle long. Queen d.
Se te tira el peón, sí.
h3, g5, f4, g4 to get an advantage.
Pego adelante ahora aquí.
By the way, you're channeling Fabi very well because the move I was a little reluctant
Pego un pawn.
to play. f5 was Fabi's choice as well. Well, I'll get e6.
Vamos a ver qué pasa.
So yeah. if you
Torre por
just-
jaque.
Right, and now what?
Dama aquí.
Bishop takes d8, d4, e4, and we're getting into some of those variations. What's going on here? Rook takes d8. And I was just kind of drumming the table for the simple move rook on f1, bishop e6, and knight e5.
Voy de aquí.
Queen g3.
Okay, fair enough. And is this an issue if black plays h4? Well, it's an intriguing attempt. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Knight g5, check. Horrifyingly bad. a5, we have king g4, b5, c4, capture on c4, b6,
I'll go king c3.
b7, d3. Wow. King e2, king e3, queen b5,
I'll go king d2. He goes king b3.
d7. Hello. Check. That's with a check.
Vamos a analizar esta partidita aquí porque si no te meten aquí máquina. Empezó el torneo este de 15 segundos. No vea.
Knight f6, e3, c4, e6, d5. Take on d5. Captures e5, bishop e6. Castle. After there was a check.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, well.
Now, last time I played c6 and I got myself into trouble. d4 castle. The knight takes e5. Yeah, nice. The knight takes e5. f4, knight d7. And guess what? Rook to e8, knight e4. Well, I want to capture on e4. Knight f6, g3, g4, queen b5.
Checkmate, man. Checkmate. Torneito fuerte. ¿Eh? Vamos allá.
Suppose I did something like knight f6. And he came up with this move rook d1, bc3, c4, capture on c4. Takes d5, bishop b7, bishop c4, bishop g5, queen d7, knight c5. Check. You don't have knight g5 yet. Queen b5. and then came d5. Queen David 8. Check. Queen d6.
No, men. Si era mate en una. Estoy haciendo yo. Era mate en una.
d5. Knight f3. Well, I want to capture on e4. d3. Knight c6. Queen f3. Rook to e8. Bishop d3. e4. Okay. Knight f3. Knight c2. c5. Knight g5. I just didn't understand the move h6. And also, and we're up to date. Bishop e5 idea. Queen b5 is a very unpleasant.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Ultimate. Thank you, man.
Now, last time I played c6 and I got myself into trouble. e5, rook on h1, e3, and knight e5. And I want to capture on f3, c5. Now, frankly, let's say rook h4, d4. I think this move, rook h2, really came as a big shock. Rook on h1, f5, and d3, f4. Now he can take on f4. So I'll try queen e2.
Checkmate, man. Happy New Year, man.
d6, e3, d5, d4, knight c3, capture on c4. Bishop d6, bishop takes c6. So let me put the queen on e7. Bishop g5. Well, I want to capture on e4. Rook e1, you found it, and knight e5. Okay, so very good answer. Rook e7.
Checkmate, man. Let's go. Vamos.
d5. Take on d5. e6. The bishop on e3. a6. As expected, bishop b5. Knight f3, knight c6. Well, I want to capture on e4. Yeah, you're right. I'm contemplating f4, actually. This bishop on d4, I personally find it annoying.
I'll go king d2.
e6. He has played f6, e7, bishops.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And
Vamos allá. Posición 37. En primer lugar está este.
again, this knight went to f6. Rook to e8. Okay. Bishop g5. Well, I want to capture on e4. Knight f6. Exactly. We just played rook on d1. Queen d7. Rook d8. c5. Well, bishop c4. And I want to capture on f3. Bishop f6. Oh, bishop e5. Sorry. Rook takes d5.
Yeah. Lo cogimos con el truco. Astrofide.
Dead bot shuffle.
What happened?
And also,
Se me he quedado sin conexión, men. Me quedé sin conexión.
c6, e3, g3, bishop d6, knight on f3, knight f3, bishop c5, bishop g4. Well, I want to capture on e4. Knight e4, king g2, bishop d3. Of course,
Checkmate,
you
man.
want to play bishop to e3. Rook e1, you found
Checkmate. Wow. Vamos allá. ¿Con quién nos toca ahora? No sé, se quita el tiempo y todo, man.
D5. And is this an issue if black plays H4, the knight takes E5, capture on C4? Knight E4.
¡No! ¡No, men! ¿Qué hice? Se me fue el caballo, men. Se me fue el caballo. No, también me voy a quitar el tiempo. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Me quedo sin conexión o qué? Oh. Se me va la conexión, men.